This has been Battlefront for, I want to say, since before the holidays. It's been a bit since it's been like this, apparently. Here is the Battlefront 2 experience. Okay? Full screen it. This is Battlefront 2 now. And I want you to watch real carefully. Probably can't see it, but watch the health bars of characters.
Oh, they're just going away.
They're going away, but guess what happens? They get to 1 hit point, but what happens?
They don't die.
They don't die. Nobody can die in this game now. There are games where people are just immortal, which means the game just sucks. The game just sucks. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Is this a bug or is it like hackers?
It's a bug. It's been like this since before Christmas break because EA DICE, first off, focused their attention on Battlefield 2042, which I get it, lol. And then they had a holiday break. They went on a 2-week break. So they're not making any changes or updates or fixes, which means Battlefront 2 has been like this for a while. Again, like, yeah, this was posted in October. I didn't even realize that. This is October. I thought this was like December. This is October. So it's been like this for a while. And there are people just like asking for fixes. And the response was, hey, we just got back from holiday. We'll take a look at some point. But it's like, okay, but it's been like this for months. Spoon, I know Battlefront 2 has been out for a while, but my understanding is the community thinks that this game was in a really good state, where lots of content, not many issues, like game wasn't like loot box garbage at this point, so things are like kind of trending positively. Like, what are your thoughts on a bug that makes the game so nobody can die, lasting for 3 months?
I mean, it's not that surprising that, like, this game has been out for a long time. I don't follow it or play it, but I doubt they've released any content for this game, actual content for this game in a while where they would actually earn any money off of it. So it wouldn't be a priority for EA to monitor and fix Battlefront 2. At the same time, it appears that there's at least somewhat of a community that is still playing this game. And I don't know what could randomly. I have no idea what they could have done because, again, I doubt they update this game very frequently. But I don't know what they could have done that could have caused a bug like this to all of a sudden start happening.
It's worth noting the bug is often enough where people have complained about it on the site.
Yeah.
But even if it's like, let's say it's one every. I'm trying to think of a number that's like infrequent, and I'm gonna say 5%. I'm gonna say 5% of games enough for me, but that's still really bad. One out of 20 games is just a throwaway game. Okay, which may not, like, I don't think that seems horrible.
That doesn't seem that bad to me, but it's still annoying if it happens.
But it's annoying. It's like, okay, well, and it's persisted for months. So that's the frustration. Now, like, think about if that number's not 1 in 20, but like 1 in 10, and then 1 in 5. Like, it's just going to get progressively worse. Like, I just, like, if it's been like this for 3 months, like, it's a game-breaking bug. So it needs to be fixed, and it hasn't been addressed. So yeah, that's a thing. Battlefront 2. I've played Battlefront 2. I played it early on when it was released. I mean, the game is fun. So, like, yeah. I feel bad because the game's fun, and there has been like quite a bit of free content. It seems like the game was in a pretty good spot. The game was free on Epic Game Store at some point. So there probably is like some community for this game left. I just like feel bad that even if it's 1 every 20 games is a throwaway, like, that's still frustrating. To just be like, okay, well, I guess I have to quit this game immediately because it's a throwaway game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty bad, obviously, and I have no idea what could have happened that caused this. Because you would think if they put out a patch of some sort that they would at least monitor it for a bit to see if there were any issues with it.
Right.
But like, I doubt that I mean, again, I don't follow it, but I feel like they wouldn't have patched it recently just because the game's old and you know it's just fine the way it is. But
Well, I mean, yeah, for the most part, fine the way it is, except for this. Um, but yeah, for the most part, it was like fine. So unfortunate for this community. Game's been out 3 weeks, I want to say, maybe 3. Still, I feel bad.
I feel
It's
like
like, come
it's
on.
more than that. But I don't know.
Let me double check. Stay. Oh wow. Okay, it's 5 years. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
More like
20. I was
four and
gonna
a
s- I
half.
was gonna say 2017, and it's
Yep.
2017. So
Yeah. Okay. It's been like 4.5 years or so. So that's frustrating. But I think yeah, it's not too surprising that EA is just like, okay, we got to move on, move on. But yeah. Anyway, any other thoughts on Battlefront 2's unkillable mode,
unkillable mode.
immortality mode?
Yeah. No, not really. I hope that they fix it for the people that still play Battlefront 2.
Okay. Let me move to Kingdom Hearts then.
Mhm.
Um, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, 3, and the DLC Remind are going on Switch next month. They weren't previously on Switch. They were on pretty much every other platform at this point though,
Yeah,
except for
at this
Switch.
point they're on everything also.
So I free playable demos, which is nice. Okay. Um I'm looking at I want to see their pricing. And here's the pricing. Melody of Memory is 60. I still can't believe it. Can Nintendo just discount something, please? Um 3 and Remind is 40. 1.5, 2.5 cloud version. I don't even know what the cloud version. What's the cloud version?
These are all cloud versions.
Oh. Okay, I thought
They're
that was like
they're
something else.
they're cloud all the games with the exception of Melody of Memory, which is actually on Switch.
Right.
Um are cloud versions of the games. So, yeah.
And then 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue is $40. Why is that $40?
Yeah, that one should be like
Like 40? Should be like 20. Should be less than that,
yeah,
frankly.
2
20?
2.8 is the worst value of the 3 in my
Yeah, it's
opinion. It's
that's horrible value. I don't know why is this $40. And then the Integra Masterpiece
which I
is
assume is just all of them
is just
all of
all
them
the
together.
is 72.
So, you get a pretty good discount if you buy the entire bundle.
You get a yeah, a really nice discount. Like even just taking all these discounts into account, that's like $121 ish. Um, so yeah, that's pretty good. Is that right? 120,
111.
111. Sorry, 111. So you're getting a $40 discount.
Yep.
Yeah, $40 discount. I mean, yeah, I mean, like ideally, you just get this one. I I still can't get over that this is $40. I think I can jump on
Well,
board of
0.2 takes like a couple hours to beat. Then there's if you want to play DDD's on there, and that game isn't very long, but it's like 10 to 15 hours.
okay.
But and then there's the 1 hour but yeah, if you want to like just beat complete the three things that are on 2.8, it's probably like 20-ish hours. It's not very long.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2.8. I mean, yeah, no, DDD sucks. Don't play it. But um, anyways, yeah. Pricing aside, which is it's the Kingdom Hearts series. People have wanted them on Switch. Everything that I've heard from I haven't tried them myself yet, and I probably won't. But everything I've heard from the Kingdom Hearts community on Twitter is that these are awful.
I gotta be honest, I'm not surprised. Like okay.
Like, yeah, the cloud versions are like they're just laggy as hell, and it's like they're nearly unplayable. Basically, it's like everything I saw is like, yeah, don't buy this. This is a freaking ripoff, and yeah,
All
just
launch and decisions via
it's
cloud.
trash.
Okay. Nice. I can't say I'm too surprised. I mean, via cloud, like so it's just you're downloading the game, right? Isn't it just a downloadable version of the game? Or you actually like have to sync up with the cloud to play it. Like
Yeah,
they're
no, they're streaming the game to you. It's cloud. Yeah.
Nintendo is gonna stream a game to you.
No, Square.
No. I just want to be clear on something. I didn't think it was like Stadia because I didn't think anybody was that stupid to do this. On even if it's from Square, it's using Nintendo's online service.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody was stupid enough to be like, let's just Stadia it. That's why I didn't think it would be like Stadia. I was like, oh no, you just
I mean,
download the game. You're streaming
maybe
it in the cloud. Who
maybe
decided that?
well, it's one of a couple of things. Either one, they tried to port it and the Switch couldn't handle it for whatever reason, or they just did a terrible job porting it and they couldn't get it
Right,
to work well on the Switch.
right.
Um uh or B, they before they even tried porting it, they decided no, the Switch is not gonna be able to run these games well, so we'll just do it this way. So it's either one of those two things, I think. Um, and they're like, well, but people want them on the Switch, so I guess we'll do this, which I'm sure they can scam a few people into buying this, which is probably worth it for them because I doubt it's that much effort for them to put these game up on servers and shittily stream them to people. But you know, lol. And also, by the way, part of the allure of having the games on the Switch would be the ability to like play them on the go. Oh, I want to play Kingdom Hearts on the go, portable, and you can't with
You
the
can't.
cloud version because
You literally can't.
the Switch isn't a phone. You can't have like 5G or whatever on it. You need an internet connect, like an actual Wi-Fi internet connection.
Imagine,
So
imagine on your 20th anniversary, this massive like celebration of your game franchise, a successful franchise, JRPG crowd, and lovers of Square Gaming, and taking a donkey dump on their dreams and saying, "Here, we're gonna give you it on the Switch." Really? How? We're gonna stream it to you on the worst possible platform for online connectivity. And by the way, you can't take it on the go.
yeah, Google couldn't even do this right with Stadia, and Square thinks they can do it with the Switch and Kingdom Hearts. That's some Omega lol.
I just wow. Better than the Castlevania version. Yeah, okay. That's not saying much. That's really not saying anything. It's this is just wow. I didn't think this would be a. I thought this would be something different. I thought we were gonna celebrate Kingdom Hearts going on the Switch, and I was gonna be like, oh, we're gonna have like a conversation talking about the 20. No, it's just I didn't think we were going this way. It's
Yeah.
like it's like taking a nice relaxing drive and then seeing a dead skunk on the road and going, oh well, I see this is how the drive is gonna go today. Which is what happened too. Driving back from my trip, I had to drive by two skunks within about half a mile from each other. Yeah, it was horrible. It seems
Mhm.
like this is what it was reminding me of.
Yeah, it's not good. So yeah, don't buy this. I mean, again, you could try the demo if you want, but from everything I've heard, the demo is ass. Like, oh, and also the demos. Apparently, you're limited to a playtime of like 10 minutes, or maybe it's 15 minutes.
What the fuck is that? The cutscenes are way too long for that.
In the demo, and you can only boot it up twice. If you like boot it up more, you can't boot it up more than twice.
Wow.
Yeah, you get like locked out of it or something like that. Again, I don't know. This is all secondhand information that I've read on Twitter, basically. So
Imagine your dreams getting shit on and then getting kicked in the balls at the same time. Like, wow. That's really bad. You can only boot up the demo twice total, and you get 10 minutes of playtime. I assume the demo is curated because that game has cutscenes that are far too long. It's got to be a curated
now, from
demo.
everything I've seen, it's just you just get access to the game and you can start a new game from the beginning. And
So you have to skip the cutscenes. You get to
yeah,
play like me.
you definitely have
How
to skip the
exciting!
cutscenes.
You can't even get through a cutscene. Wow, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
What an embarrassment. Okay.
In other news though, like this was part of the announcement. The other half of the announcement is that they're doing a 20th anniversary event in April, and I assume they're gonna hopefully they will announce some actual new exciting stuff for the series in April instead of taking a shit on us like with these Switch versions.
I'm sure they'll have something cooked up. I can't imagine they'll have nothing. I'm sure they'll have something. It's just a matter of like, is that going to be a trailer? Is it going to be another game? Actual like surprise game?
Kingdom Hearts NFT.
Oh no, not NFT. Oh no. Oh wait, no. Square said they want to do NFTs. I think. So we could get a Kingdom Hearts NFT collection.
If it's NFTs, I'm done. Dude.
I'm
Freaking
excited.
done.
I can't wait. You could stream it on your phone. Yeah. And they're gonna say, "Don't you have phones, guys? You have phones." Okay. This is not how I thought this was gonna go. By the way, I thought this was gonna be a happy conversation.
That's really fun. That's really funny to me actually, because like yeah, I guess you don't really follow
I
Kingdom
no, I
Hearts,
don't.
but
I don't
like
follow this, so I'm like, oh, we're gonna talk about like how awesome this is gonna be, and then we get in
no.
here, you're just like, okay, let me get you loaded on how shitty this is. I see, I see, I see. Um, let's see here. Let's do a couple of like honorable mention news bits. Humankind had a DLC that dropped today. Um, I have no comment towards it yet because I only played like an hour and like maybe 15 minutes of it. I have no comment so far. I kind of want to like get through a whole game before I say anything. Um, and then don't forget Rainbow Six Extraction released today on
Mhm.
Game Pass. You have to now hold on. It's on Game Pass, but you got to use Ubisoft Connect. And then
Yeah,
when
of
you
course
use
you do.
Ubisoft Connect, you can finally play. So you have to launch Ubisoft's
Yeah,
Uplay.
when you launch Ubisoft, then it downloads DRM onto your device and monitors you in the background.
Yep. It's I wasn't surprised. I was like, "Oh, I have to get Ubisoft Connect here." Okay. I have no comment on that game either because I only got to play. I have played 2 games with Hector. Um, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. We'll see. Um, but yeah, nope. Rainbow Six Extraction is on Steam. Isn't it on Steam? Am I crazy?
But I'm sure you're still gonna have to connect to Ubisoft if you get
Oh
it
yeah,
on
no, of
Steam.
course you do. Like
It's gonna be the
fuck, of
same
course you do.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
no,
the
of course.
same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you want to use Steam, you can use Steam, but you're still gonna have to go through Ubisoft to launch the game.
Do you know why
Like
things don't just launch on Steam? Because Steam takes way too much fucking money from
yeah,
Steam. Just actually grabs your nutsack while you're trying to sell something on their platform and go,
yeah, it's
guess
gonna
what? We're the big player, and
yeah. It
we're
Yeah,
just
they do
gonna
that to
absolutely destroy
developer
you.
like for consumers. Honestly, it's completely fine. They're actually pretty good. They have a lot of
Oh yeah,
sales
no,
and
it's great.
stuff
It's
like
great
that.
for
But for the developers and the publishers, I'm sure they fucking hate Steam.
for
Like
for people like EA and Activision. Obviously, they're gonna hate them because they're taking their money, but it's not the worst. It's that indie developer
yeah,
who's really trying to sell their game, and
yep,
Valve walks into the room as they're trying to go, "Oh, you're a little guy, aren't you?"
Hmm.
Come here. I'm gonna show you something.
I got a little surprise for you.
I got something to show you. It's like on one hand, it's great for us because like okay, we only have to deal with one platform. But then you think about that indie developer that's coughing up a huge chunk of their revenue stream because Steam is Steam takes a lot.
Mhm.
That's the other side of it.
They take like 30% or something, I think is what.
That being said, really wish you didn't have to connect to UPlay. Really wish
Yeah,
you
no,
didn't.
nobody likes Uplay.
It's got way too sexual, way too fast. I mean, that's how things go. Um, these things happen. But yeah, those two came out. There's another game, by the way, that I'm gonna play. It's called The Settlers. It's a really old game. It's a really old like IP. It's an RTS game. I got into the closed beta. At some point this weekend, I will play it on stream. That's also like another game release honorable mention. Um, it's a it's a it was a cool little game, and that's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say about it. It was like a kind of a it's an interesting RTS. It's not like StarCraft or Age of Empires kind of RTS. It's a little bit different. There is a little bit difference, assuming it's gonna play the same way.
I have a question for you, Otto.
Yes.
Speaking of like RTS and that type, have you ever played any of the Total War games?
Yes, I played Total War Rome a little bit.
Like way back in the day, the first one? That was like one of the first ones, wasn't it? Or maybe that.
Yeah,
Never
no, there
mind.
was one that came out around college.
Okay.
Um, I thought it was fine. That game though is like there's a that game there's you got to really get into that game. There can be a lot to
Yeah.
that game. But if you're like really hardcore, Total Rome series like definitely is
Because yeah, I've like there've been points in time where like I see Total War Warhammer are like
Mhm,
looks cool. Total War Warhammer 3 is coming out next month, I think, is what I
mhm.
saw.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. I like have got I think I bought the first one, Total War Warhammer, on a Steam sale once. I played it a little bit, but as you said, it's kind of complicated and
It,
hard to get into.
you got to really get into it.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's an interesting game. It's an interesting mix of like RTS with the battles are more RTS. You control your troops and stuff,
Mhm.
and then there's like a meta game that's more like 4X ish, I guess, with like base
Right.
building, like city and base building and like stuff like that. So
Yeah. No.
it's an interesting series to me. I was
Mhm.
just wondering, yeah, if you had any experience with it,
It can be
stuff like that.
overwhelming, but once you have to like really put the time into it.
Yeah,
With almost anything, but like with that game, like you're not gonna get it the first couple times you play, kind of situation. You have to
yeah.
play it to really understand it. You can't just jump in. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think I have total. I have never actually gotten to play it, but I did have it. Have it. At some point I would like to try it. Anyway, yeah, those are the games. Rainbow Six Extraction these two. Um,
Yeah.
it
And
I yeah, I don't have an opinion on it yet, but I'm glad it's on
you
Game
have
Pass so I can
you
play
have
it.
any do you have any early comment? I know you don't have an opinion on it. Do you have any early comments after the first couple of games that you played?
Um, I think with a full team, this could be an interesting game. I think with a full team, the game could be interesting. If with just Hectic and I, it was fine. Like I'm not gonna say it was bad, but I think with a full team, and when the game becomes harder, it becomes interesting. Um, that being said, I'm not gonna say it's great. I'm just saying it's gonna be more interesting with. Um,
Sure.
there's another mechanic I'm not 100% sure on. I think it's interesting. If you complete a mission and your character dies in the mission, they become inactive, which means you can't choose them again right away. They have to refill their health to become reactivated. So you play a mission, you die, they become inactive. You play another mission, they get to like 40 HP. You play another one, they get to I don't know, maybe 80. Maybe it's in increments of 40. They get to 80 out of 100, and then at 80 out of 100, they become playable. So they have to take like 2 games off.
That's
Um,
interesting.
it's interesting. We'll see if it's good or bad, but it's interesting. Um, I'm sure there's other games that do this, but in a game like this, like I don't know, it makes going through. It adds to a bit of the of how you want to do your tactics. You can't just throw somebody at a wave and be like, okay, I'm just gonna sacrifice myself. It's like, okay, but you lose that operator for like 2 games after. So
Yeah,
it's like if you're really tied to that operator, it makes you try other operators too. I mean, like it also seems like the operators are unlocked through gameplay. You don't buy them.
that's good.
I think you just play the game and you get them. You don't buy them. At least that's what I looked at. Because you have to get like certain levels to get to them. Everything is. It seems like most things that I saw, like equipment and such, are progression based. So game's interesting. I can't say if it's good or bad yet, but there's like I think with a full party of people, it could actually be really like and
Sure.
it's not easy. I don't think the game's going to be easy at all. So that's also good. So if you have Game Pass and you want to join me and Hectic, um, got to get you play though. There you go. Okay. Any other
And
stuff
yeah,
before
yeah,
we talk
yeah.
Microsoft? The rest
You
of
only played Humankind for like an hour. That's not any time to get anything
no,
in
I
that
have
game.
no. I
So
have no. My only impression is I think the first African culture. I think it's going to be an undesirable culture to choose. I think
yeah,
there is some usability to this like the pioneers effect. There is some usability for it, but I also I'm also thinking, okay, but like first off, how much food are you going to be able to accumulate to get extra units? Is it going to be fast enough where it's worth it? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to accumulate food fast enough to replenish the units.
does the Pioneer replace the Scout, so you
Yep,
can't build Scouts and you just have
correct.
okay? Yeah,
You said pioneers, and also the expansion cost is 4 of them, which 4 is a lot. I just want to say 4 is a lot. Having 4 units to get an outpost is a lot.
just kind of depends on how quickly you're able to like accumulate food from the curiosities and stuff.
And if you
But yeah,
can't,
but early in the game, honestly, the influence cost is really cheap, so it's
yes,
probably faster to put them. Feels like this would be better as like a later era culture with like that kind of ability
that would
because
be way better. Yeah, that would be so much better. But early on, it's just like, okay, well, I have to crank out 4 units,
yeah,
make sure they survive, and then try and get to an outpost as fast as possible. But here's the thing: like other cultures do that faster. They just do it faster, from what I've seen. I mean, like the CPU cheats, but other
well yeah,
expansionist
you were
cultures just do it
yeah.
faster.
You were playing humankind difficulty, which surprised me. I mean, you can play humankind difficulty, but it's just like if I want to test something out, I'm not gonna play humankind difficulty because it's just like,
It's good, but it's also something you have to see it in hard
yeah,
difficulty. Like, okay, well, like, is this even going to be usable in this difficulty? Just like
yeah.
if your expansion is like, why not just use the influence ones and just take the cheap influence? Like, it just seems faster. That's what I don't get. So I'm like, okay, I'm not sure I get this. I yeah, I first attempts at the new culture. I'm curious at the other cultures to see how they.
The one in the from what I've seen, the one in the I think it's the medieval era seems really really good.
Yeah,
But there's others like some of them seem interesting and good, and there's like two or three of them seem like not very good to me.
yeah,
So I don't know. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but
yeah,
they're all kind of I don't know about all of them, but most of them. Oh, okay, I don't say most, but like a couple of them have like a new unique mechanic. Like the one with the Bantu, which is the ancient era one. It's a new mechanic. Well, it builds on the nomadic era mechanic, but it's a new mechanic for the expansionist, to build up that set of 4 units and then
and
plop
then
an
just do it
outpost
there.
for no influence.
Yeah,
So
it's. I think if like I don't know. I just 4 is a lot though. Like really, you don't think about it, but 4 is a lot early on.
yeah,
It
it's
is a
gonna take
lot.
time.
Even if you're scouting around finding it, that also relies on the fact that you don't encounter any combats to kill you. Which good luck. Everything wants to
Oh,
kill
yeah.
you.
Yeah, if you run into another civ and they have scouts, they're gonna kill you because they have higher combat
Yeah,
strength than
because
your
they're cheating.
pioneers.
Because they're cheating. I mean, they
Well,
just get
also,
boosts. They just get boosts. But
well, they get boost, but I think by default, the pioneer has a lower combat strength than the scout.
yep, that there you go. So yeah, I'm not the Bantu. I'm not sold on. Is what I'm saying. Is I don't think I'd pick them first in most
Yeah,
cases that I can think.
it's still like the Egyptians or the Harappans are still two of like the best like
Yeah,
for
they're just.
the
It's just
early
like
game.
okay, well,
Like,
like yeah, you just pick something different and like I was like, oh, maybe yeah, the Bantu. I'm not sure on. 4 units is a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. 4 is a lot. Maybe if it was like 3, I'd feel different. 4 is a lot. Okay, let's get to the main discussion topic for the news, which is Activision Blizzard got bought for $70 billion, like 68. Um, yeah, that has got to be the biggest gaming acquisition ever. I didn't even look
oh,
any of that up, but that's got to be the biggest ever
by a long I think
by a long shot.
this was the third biggest acquisition of all time among like all at least US like acquisitions. I
Yeah.
think the biggest one was the AT&T or the Charter Communications Time Warner one.
Mm,
I think that was bigger, and then Disney 20th Century Fox I think was second, and then it was this.
yeah, like that's absolutely insane. That's a lot of okay. Say what you will about some of the Blizzard brands at this point, but that those are like well-known brands. I mean, like, look at
Oh
most
yeah.
of the brands on their picture are Blizzard brands, just to sort of put that out there. Overwatch is kind of in a dead state, but, it's Overwatch. Diablo's a big brand. World of Warcraft is still there. StarCraft used to be something really big and sort of fluttering along. Call of Duty, obviously. Um, I mean, like, there's other things too that really come under that flagship. People talk about like Crash Bandicoot, that flagship.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, King Candy Crush obviously is a big one there. There's just a lot of stuff in there. Like, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of licensed like things within there that Activision Blizzard has had, may not have used recently, but has that Microsoft can just decide if this goes through, and nobody stops them from purchasing Activision legally. That Microsoft can decide, oh, let's just do this again. Let's just bring this back.
Make
So
me another StarCraft game.
yeah, they can just Microsoft can just decide, hey, look, like make another StarCraft game.
Or maybe they don't want a StarCraft game, they want something in the StarCraft universe that isn't an RTS. Who knows?
Right.
Though Microsoft did do Age of Empires, so maybe they'd be willing to gamble on another StarCraft
I
game,
think they
like an
would.
RTS. Like,
I think they would. Microsoft isn't Activision. Microsoft isn't like this is making $1 billion or it's a flop kind of thing.
yeah,
I
they're
I,
like
I really do think
Call
that.
of Duty or no.
It's like, yeah, is it going to be as big as Call of Duty? I mean, like, again, Diablo's a really big one. Overwatch is kind of dead. Overwatch community folks are they're tentatively excited because like, oh, maybe Microsoft will like push Activision to like do certain things and get Overwatch going again because Overwatch's esports scene is like kind of
Dying.
yeah, put it lightly. Call of Duty's esports scene also is not. I think there's some cool stuff in the Activision umbrella that is licensed that we could see again. Here's my hope. My hope is Microsoft gives us another Transformers game, just like the old ones,
That's
because
right.
those were
Another
bangers.
Transformers game.
Those were bangers. Bring those back.
The
Um,
other cool thing about this, at least for Game Pass owners, is that we're gonna get probably, or at least I would hope, get all of these games on Game Pass now.
yeah,
Um,
Really, yeah. Like, oh, and like,
Like, I was kind of on the fence about like Diablo or Diablo 4. Like, it looked cool, but you know, Activision Blizzard was kind of in the shitter the past year. But it's on Game Pass. Fuck it, I'll play it on Game Pass. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's just like again, like there is a lot of different games on here that I think Microsoft may end up just like, let's just reboot, let's just try. Um, there's some cool stuff. I really do hope that if it does go through, that we see a couple IPs that were sort of lost in time because they weren't big enough for Activision. Microsoft says, "Hey, like maybe we bring this back. Maybe we bring this back." Can't do any Spider-Man games. There's a lot of Spider-Man games in Activision. Um, I'm just looking at like,
Activision used to do a lot of like those movie license
yep,
games. So
yeah, they used to do a lot of these ones. So I'm like trying to see this like massive list of stuff.
Skylanders.
Yeah, I saw somewhere that somebody wants Skylanders back. Um,
I
I,
don't. I guess it stopped being popular or something, but like that was really popular for a few years and then it just
mm,
like died. I don't really know what happened,
yeah,
but
I don't know because like I'm still looking through this list. Deadpool, Deadpool was, yeah. There's just like there's a lot of stuff that Activision has, and again, most of it is Call of Duty. It's true, most of the big ones, are, but there's some stuff. There's some IPs I would love to see. This and yeah, like Game Pass just got like Game Pass just is the same price and may have like definitely more than doubled the value. Definitely.
yeah, it got
I don't know
much
how
more
much. I
valuable.
don't know how much the
That's for sure.
multipliers in this. Like I'm just picturing now the Game Pass launcher drops Overwatch, Diablo, StarCraft in there. Like that's crazy.
And Call of Duty.
And Call of Duty. I mean, yeah, and Call of Duty, of course. Um, that is insane to me. Um, the hot
Let's not
topic.
forget
But
Hearthstone.
yeah, I'm surprised
Well,
Hearthstone wasn't on this list.
Hearthstone's free to play, but yeah.
I am genuinely surprised Hearthstone was Hearthstone at this point outside of World of Warcraft is probably their biggest moneymaker. I think
Yeah.
maybe it is bigger than World of Warcraft for money. I don't even know. Hearthstone is just like it is actually just an ATM machine at this point, and it's got so many different monetization, you know, built-in monetization mechanisms. It's crazy. Um, but the big topic with this also is antitrust. A lot of people think that this is a antitrust issue. Um, that was also
Yeah,
kind of a hot
I
topic.
read it. I read an article that said that they don't think it'll be an issue because though it's a larger acquisition, it is still a horizontal acquisition as opposed to a vertical one. This is like a publisher acquiring a publisher. It's not like steps or something. Like I'm not super. Of course it's gonna get. Of course it's gonna get reviewed. It's
No,
not,
no,
not
it
just gonna go
has to.
straight through. It has to get
No,
reviewed.
it's going to. It 100% will.
But again, the article I read seemed to imply that they don't think it's going to that it will be reviewed, but it will go through.
Let's
But
assume
we'll
it
see.
does. For fun, let's assume it goes through. Just, um, the other issue that Sony immediately jumped on, they were very quick to jump on this, was Sony was basically they initially said they expected Microsoft to uphold contracts previously in place for things like Call of Duty, and
Yeah,
Microsoft did
multi-platform.
respond to that. Phil Spencer responded to that. But yeah, Sony had mentioned in the news. They said I don't have the quote in front of me, but they basically had said that they expect any Activision games that already had a contract in place with Sony to be upheld. That is what they said. They expected that. Which I mean, they would hope. I think it's more like they hope that they get kept up. But
I mean, if it's under contract, it's under contract. I mean, I don't know what Microsoft could do to, you know, can't breach the contract. Like,
but Phil Spencer said that all those contracts would be upheld.
upheld. Yeah.
Yeah, not upheld. There wasn't necessarily going to be an expectation just going to like breach that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, the other thing that happened is Sony lost $2 billion of market value.
Oh yeah, their stock plummeted. I
Their
saw that.
stock plummeted, which I mean, yeah, yeah, I would expect that considering like losing Call of Duty off of the PlayStation console would be a blow. Certainly,
Oh yeah.
that would be a blow for them, particularly like a Warzone too. Warzone coming off there,
Yep.
so I think that was obviously the biggest hit for that. The other thing that I saw on Twitter, which I kind of laughed at, was somebody was like, "Oh, Sony's got to buy somebody to respond." It's like they're not just gonna buy somebody tomorrow. That's not how things work.
Yeah, these deals take a long time.
This deal probably took easily more than 6 months. Easily more than 6 months. Might have taken the entire year to actually like get it all from initial conversations to actually complete. I mean, really, it could have. So I just like
Yeah.
Sony's just not gonna buy somebody right now. That's not how it works. You don't just point at like Ubisoft and go, "You bought you now. We've bought you for this much money." Here's a question for you. I have a question for you. At what point does Microsoft kind of have to stop buying before somebody actually comes in and says, "Okay, hold on a second. Maybe there is a serious antitrust issue here. You can't just buy everybody, right?"
Yeah, I mean there is a limit. Antitrust laws exist to prevent monopolies, basically, you one of the like founding principles of capitalism is like competition and the invisible hand of the market, et cetera, et cetera. Like I think there are some industries who suffer from it from lack of competition, but we won't get into that. Um, Gaming still has like it still have a good number of big players like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft as the three console competitors basically, and then you have EA, Ubisoft, and
Take
until
Two,
until recently you had well, it's not for sure, but Activision was a big player and a publisher. Take Two Interactive, um,
Square,
and then there's and Square Enix as well, Bandai Namco. Like there's still like 10 relatively big ones. Obviously there's bigger and smaller, but and then there's a ton of like smaller studios and
right?
indies and stuff like that. So I don't think competition is a issue in the gaming industry right now. If this continues to happen over and over and over again, eventually it could, but I think it's okay right now. But there is a limit. I agree with you. There's definitely a limit. But
Yeah.
but
Maybe this
like
is the last one.
Nintendo,
Yeah.
Nintendo is like not going to go away. They're not going to let somebody buy them.
No,
Like
Nintendo won't. I mean, like that's obvious. Nintendo's not just gonna do. But man, I don't think Activision's got any, or not Activision, sorry. I don't think Microsoft's got any more big buys in them. Bethesda last year was big,
and that
obviously.
and we thought that was big. That was what? It was like
$7 billion
10
dollars or something,
7.
7 to
I'm gonna
10
say
billion.
10, but yeah, it was like between 5 and 10 billion, I think. This like was like 10x that
This is
like
like
freaking
comic. This is like
70.
comical monopoly money kind of deal. He was like,
Yeah.
okay, what the frick? And of course, it's Microsoft that just goes, yeah, we can just throw $70 billion at it. It's like Microsoft, can you relax? Um, yeah, I think this has to be the last big one. I think it has to be. Um, for now, at least, I think they can still, go. You can still acquire indie devs and small studios, small developers.
Yeah,
Publisher
sure.
acquires developer. But man, I can't see Microsoft buying any other big ones.
Any other like big publishers
I can't
like
see it. I really can't see Microsoft going after. this point. I think Bethesda and Activision, though, those were some really big ones and strategic ones, considering Microsoft is like extremely popular in the American, possible. I don't know how popular in the European market, but they're not popular in the
Asian
East
market.
Asian
Yeah.
market at all. So it's like, okay, let's go after the publishers that focus on this particular market that we're already thriving in. So yeah, I mean they're Microsoft just can't go after like a Square. It's just not going to work. It doesn't make sense, right? Um, so
Now Microsoft has tried the Japanese
they've
strategy
tried,
before. I guess they haven't tried buying a frickin' company, but
right?
you know, they've tried with some exclusives and it has not stuck.
It just
Like,
didn't work out.
yeah,
Didn't work out. So stick to your what's
yeah,
working.
true. They do get Candy Crush as well, which
Yeah, they
is
get Candy Crush. They get big Candy Crush. I mean, yeah. So it's just like, oh, here, let's just throw Monopoly money at things.
yeah,
Um, I
yeah.
mean,
It's definitely
I, I was just gonna any other big publisher that gets bought for Microsoft. I think at that point somebody has to go. Okay, you need to stop.
yeah. I mean, what I heard is that this was like Sony is the biggest gaming company
Hmm.
in terms of like size. Microsoft and Activision were like it was either fourth and fifth or fifth and sixth. I don't remember. And them coming together makes I I, I think they're either bigger than Sony or like right there with them now after that acquisition is what I heard.
Yeah,
Like
like that's crazy. That's crazy to me. They're just like, okay, bringing them together. But it does make sense. Like this is a deal that makes a ton of sense. Also, if I guess if Overwatch was bigger, but you know, obviously somebody at Microsoft thought about this, but StarCraft and Overwatch I mean, Overwatch probably more so a few years ago. Those have big presences in places like, well, Overwatch was fairly significant in China,
hmm
but in South Korea, StarCraft and Overwatch still have
yeah.
some presence there. Overwatch probably less so now, but StarCraft still has a presence there. So this guy, Micro, Microsoft Xbox does kind of sneak in a little bit. They snuck in a
Yeah,
little bit here.
sure.
So that that probably works out well for them. That they're just like, okay, well, we can sneak in with this brand, and StarCraft and Overwatch sneak us in a little bit.
Also, you notice that like with these at least these two big ones, Bethesda and then now Activision,
Yep.
it's kind of like you wonder how much of it is like Microsoft is getting in there because they're like, these companies don't have a good public perception right now. Like Bethesda was kind of in the shitter for a while too
Mm.
with like Fallout 76 and like some of the other things that they were doing before Microsoft bought them, and then Microsoft bought them, and well, we haven't really heard a peep from Bethesda in a while. They're just kind of working on stuff. Um, and this year, man, Activision was in the shit. Like Blizzard more specifically, but and
Well,
Microsoft swoops
yeah.
in and does this now. I just wonder if that had anything to do with it, or if that's just coincidence.
I think in this particular case, it might have been coincidence. In Bethesda's case, it probably brought down Bethesda's value a little bit that they were struggling, which means Microsoft was like, oh, maybe we can get them on like a bargain as opposed to maybe like a couple years ago Bethesda type of deal. Like, Activision had its problems early in the summer, right? Was it early summer? And
It was in the middle of the year sometime. I don't remember
yeah,
when it
I
was
think it was
last
like
year.
June. So it could work out that it's like in June, Activision starts to struggle. A month later, somebody at Microsoft's like, okay, we gotta swoop in. Like they're
Yeah,
struggling.
like
All their games
Maybe
are getting
they're
delayed.
maybe they were discussing acquisitions and they see Activision having issues and they're like, maybe we
And it's like,
well
okay,
right
well,
there.
like it works. It works in, and yeah, you buy low. Like Activision at this point was the lowest it has been in a bit. So you go in and you buy low. So I think it makes a ton of sense too there that like, okay, you're struggling, we're gonna buy you low, and then we're just gonna deal with all your PR. Bethesda doesn't have to do anything right now.
Yeah.
And the thing is also Microsoft bought Bethesda and like I don't even know how Microsoft works with like sort of the disruption of work as the acquirer. But there are certain companies that like Microsoft bought and they're just like, yeah, okay, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And just we're just here to support now.
Yeah, they're just under their umbrella now, and they, I guess if they need financial support, Microsoft probably toss them some money to
Yeah, I
help
mean
develop whatever they're
they
developing,
still have to
right?
green light stuff, but it might be the case where Microsoft is a little more lenient than
Yeah,
Activision was towards certain IPs. Um, and they're just like, okay, like look, StarCraft's not doing super well. Let's do a new StarCraft. Doesn't have to be RTS. Maybe it is. We're gonna greenlight a StarCraft as Microsoft, and it doesn't have to make $1 billion. Just like make a new StarCraft. We're gonna put it in Game Pass. Make a new, get the new Diablo out. We'll throw it in Game Pass. Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is gonna get thrown into Game Pass. Um, Microsoft is doing this stuff because they know they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna throw it all in Game Pass anyway. Just gonna throw it in Game Pass. So that like that to me also is a signal of like why they're making these acquisitions. It's like, man, wouldn't it be nice to get every single Bethesda game guaranteed into Game Pass without just having to work with Bethesda? Same thing with
yep,
this. It's like Call of Duty wasn't in Game Pass, but wouldn't it be nice if it was? And oh my god, the value of Game Pass just shoots up as a result.
yeah.
And with all
They're
the other stuff
probably
too.
yeah, they're probably gonna get if Call of Duty goes in Game Pass, they're probably gonna get a lot more subscribers from that because there's a lot of people who like pretty much just play Call of Duty. Like they buy Call of Duty every year, and that's kind of it. Like,
Yeah. Um there's some other there's obviously the other side effects and like some of the Activision games. I don't remember like you just guarantee that those Activision games. They don't have to worry about Sony trying to get exclusivity first or something.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean like Microsoft owns Crash Bandicoot. They own Spyro
yep,
as a result as well. So I mean I could see those getting some love. Yeah,
yeah.
this was huge.
Also, again, these were reports, and obviously nothing's final yet. But apparently, at least they're thinking about finally getting rid of Bobby Kotick if this goes through.
Yeah, right now I thought they said that for now he'll remain in his position.
He'll remain until the acquisition is finalized, and
Right.
if it is, they're probably gonna
I
gonna
mean,
zone him out or get him out.
yeah, I wouldn't be
That
shocked at all.
money grubbing gremlin that nobody likes.
Well, the thing is, he'll just get. Here's the thing, though. Like, he still wins. He ultimately still
Oh
wins.
yeah, no,
Like,
they like I saw
$70
this
billion.
figure.
A portion of that's going in his
He he
pocket.
w- yeah, like I saw this figure. He would be owed like a $250 million severance package or something like that if
He would
they
be owed
got rid of
something
him.
stupid
Like,
plus the equity that he gets from the actual
yeah,
acquisition. Like, it's just like he gets the perfect parachute.
yeah,
Like,
he gets the
he
golden
ship.
parachute.
He doesn't care. If I was him, I just wouldn't care. I'd be like, okay, whatever. Who cares? Um, Go ahead and fire me. I don't care. Um, yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if also as in like because before the acquisition, Microsoft was quite critical of Activision. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're like, okay, we're still gonna acquire you, but we're gonna clean your house up.
Yep.
And I think I saw some stuff too where employees of Activision and Blizzard were kind of concerned that they might just be left kind of hanging, and they're worried about getting structured deal where you just get fired because the acquirer wants to put their own people in there.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of like the people that are going to get let go are the people that were the problem getting investigated. think those are the people that are just Microsoft's just gonna go, okay, you were being
Yeah.
investigated. Goodbye. You goodbye. HR goodbye.
HR, goodbye. Bobby Kotick, why are you still here? Goodbye.
Bobby,
Like,
acquisition's done. Get out.
nobody likes you.
All the executives, get out of here. Here's your golden parachute, but get the hell out of here. You give us a bad name. I mean, that's also a part. They're just gonna get all those people out. In this case, particularly the people that are being accused of all these things, and I'm sure plenty of those cases are in fact true. Um, good. Just get them out. Like, please get them
Yep.
out. Please. Um, so yeah, I mean, like Activision. I think the only company that would have been a better strategic buy would have been EA, but Activision's a big one. EA would be a big one just because you get all the sports games. You could throw all the sports games
Yeah.
and EA's got a lot of different IPs too that are like the Sims games. Those games cash cow. God.
Hmm.
So um yeah.
And EA has the rights to Star Wars right now from Disney.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
And they don't own it. Disney owns it, but Disney like signed over the
Having the
rights for
ability
Star Wars
to
games.
yeah,
Yeah.
having the ability to make a Star Wars game is a big deal. Now EA hasn't been super successful there. They've had some success recently because EA's finally been like, we should stop meddling as much. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, look, it worked. Um, but yeah.
Guess what? Gamers like it when you make good games. Big surprise.
EA, you know when you meddle like this, you're ruining the games. Stop meddling. I'm hoping that they'll meddle less. It seems like they're gonna meddle less in
Certain
certain
games.
games coming out that it seems like they haven't meddled in as. I just wish they wouldn't meddle with Bioware games coming out. Though that studio is so much different than it was like 10.
BioWare is it's not the same
It's not the same
BioWare
studio
anymore.
anymore. Yeah, I know.
It's completely different.
And other things, other IPs coming out. I'm super excited for the Dead Space remake. Like, EA better not meddle with that. Don't meddle with it. Beautiful as is. Okay. I don't know. I'm super excited for some of this stuff to go on. Diablo 4 coming
Yeah.
to Game Pass might be the most exciting.
Yeah, same.
That is
That that
so
that
awesome right now.
that one has me interested as well. Diablo 4.
Yeah, that one I'm like Diablo 4 is great because I was on the fence, and if it comes to Game Pass, like that's the kind of we're kind of shilling for Microsoft here, but this is the nice thing about is my Rainbow Six Extraction is not a game I was going to. That is not a game I was going to buy. Just being honest. But the fact that it's on Game Pass now means I can just try it, and who cares?
Yep.
Like that's kind of the beauty of this whole situation. Is like, look, I was somewhat on the fence with Diablo 4, and if it comes out on Game Pass, if everything like I don't have to feel much of anything anymore. So it works out
Yep.
really nicely. I'm also picturing a universe. I think this is somewhat I want to say ironic. xCloud, Microsoft's Stadia version,
Hmm.
is coming out. Now, as you might recall, Diablo Immortal is the Diablo mobile game. Don't you have phones?
Yep.
Imagine Diablo 4 being played on your phone.
Don't you have phones?
Now we really need phones. xCloud, Diablo 4, bam. Everything changes. That is like that is just for me funny at this point.
Assuming Microsoft gets it right, unlike Stadia.
I have way more confidence in Microsoft getting it. Google has proven to be incapable of understanding how a gaming business model and how a streaming service business. Like I'm sure the technology works extremely well, but then again, Microsoft's technology is going to work because they're really familiar with it and they're not stupid business model. So I think I have more confidence in xCloud because Stadia, I have zero confidence in Stadia. Have you heard anything
So
about Stadia in the last 12 months? And that
nope,
should be the answer to your question.
Stadia's dead. Just as a quick update, Phil Spencer just tweeted a few hours ago about Sony.
Yep.
Had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry and we value our relationship. That's the tweet.
You know, a thought occurs to me. Microsoft's too nice right now.
They're the good guy right now.
I feel like they're so
Microsoft
nice.
is the good guy. Phil Spencer is like just seems like the chillest dude. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like
Because here's the thing. I mean, like for the business side, like I think keeping Call of Duty on Sony makes a lot of sense. It's just like it makes a lot of sense. But like at the same time, Sony wouldn't be doing it. If Sony had acquired Activision, the first thing would be to do is like, guess what?
yeah,
Only Sony, bitches.
has Call of Duty.
Only Sony has it now. It's just like
Yeah.
that's literally what they would do. Which is part of the reason why I don't like Sony that. But it's just like what they would do. But I don't know, dude. I do think like business wise it does make sense to just like look, just keep throwing Call of Duty on PlayStation, it's fine, but we get access to Call of Duty on Game Pass. It still makes it more valuable to them to have that option, to have that be available. They look really good when they keep the deal through. And like that, the first thing the PlayStation fanboys were freaking out about was like Call of Duty, it's not fair. It's like, and you just want to say, dude, you gotta go look at it for a second. Sony does this all the time. With their IPs.
They have so many exclusives.
And it's just
Like
like, dude, you gotta relax. Like that. I think you're acting on this one. I'm just like, no, they're gonna keep the
it's
Call.
more because it's like Sony has their exclusives, but it's not like they've ever been on Xbox. They're just always Sony exclusive. This is something that's like, hey, we've had it before, and they might take it away. It's like, no, don't take my bike, my bicycle. Don't take it. Like,
On one level, I do like if I'm a big Call of Duty fan and I only have a PlayStation, and this was happening, I definitely would. That is a certainty. Obviously, I would be, but I think Call of Duty is the one IP from this that isn't going to be exclusive. At least in the near future.
yeah,
Who knows? 5 years from now, if Microsoft decides, okay, that's enough. Okay,
yep.
enough.
Oh, look what happened. The contract expired. Oh no!
Okay,
Oh no! What
now we got it.
happened?
It's like okay, yeah. On one level, I would be annoyed, but I think on the other end, Microsoft's going to recognize that. Okay, for now, it's fine because being able to put Call of Duty on Game Pass is what we really. This is what we really want. So
Yeah.
and, yeah, but like I don't know why Phil Spencer and Microsoft is just really chill, right? It's a little weird. It's great, but it's like guys are relaxed. Calm down.
They're really relaxed, spitting out $70 billion to buy
They're
another company.
they're relaxed on the PR front with all this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure somebody at Sony is running through various offices and meeting rooms trying to figure something out.
Can we buy Ubisoft? Can we buy EA?
It would make
What a
it's like, can we buy Ubisoft? It's like, Ubisoft is a European company, right?
yeah.
They're a European based company. I mean, like the Sony response would just be like, let's just buy Square. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, I don't think that's much of a response. I really don't. Like, how many Square games are more popular on Xbox than on PlayStation anyway?
No,
Like, that's
they're
that's
much
not a
more
response,
popular on PlayStation. Yeah.
right? There's not a
Maybe you lose
response.
some of the PC crowd, but yeah.
The response would have to be if you wanted to make a big response and you really wanted to like stick it to Microsoft. you'd have to buy somebody like Take-Two, who has Grand Theft Auto. That would be a blow, I think. I think that would be bad for because GTA obviously
Yeah.
is super
Yeah.
popular right now. Like, if we were to take that away, like
Put GTA Online only on PlayStation.
that would be a big deal. I'm sure, I don't know, like again, like what the data is on where it's most popular, but like that would be a big deal if it was an console exclusive to PlayStation. That would be a big. I'm sure there's a couple other companies too that just pop out, but like acquiring like a Square or even a Bandai Namco, I just don't think it has much of by comparison. Though
Yeah,
Bandai Namco would be big because of the Soul series.
that's true. Yeah, they have
The Soul
Souls.
series would be a big deal. That would be a big deal.
And all their anime licenses. Lol.
Yeah, but come on, people are playing that. People are not playing that.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm memeing.
Chad with his backwards hat ain't playing that shit.
Playing Dragon Ball and
It's like,
Naruto and
what's
My
these
Hero.
cartoons?
And,
What's these
yeah.
cartoons? Get these cartoons off my telly. Like they ain't
The
doing that.
the biggest one to me would be EA with all their their
Yeah.
sports games mostly, and like Battlefield 2, obviously. But the sports games would be ridiculous.
Would Sony be willing to pay? EA has to be almost
That one's probably
nearly.
more than Activision.
Yeah, probably more actually. You're right. Probably more.
That might be like 100. That might be like
Is
100
Sony
billion
willing
or
to drop
something.
$100 billion? Is the question. I mean,
And is EA willing to be acquired?
yes,
Like,
EA has to be willing to be acquired. So that's the other issue. It's like EA could just decide, nah, we good. But
yeah, I think that again that was part of it with this deal with the bad PR from Activision Blizzard this year and their stock dropping and all that. As we talked about earlier, Microsoft swooping in and be like, "Yeah,
hey
what do you think?
guys, hey,
What do
how's
you
it going?
think?
What do you think?
How's it going?
Uh,
You guys
so,
aren't looking too great right now.
man, you guys are. Oof.
How do you feel? How do you feel about Game Pass? Sound pretty good? Yeah, that's what I
Somebody,
thought.
Phil Spencer walked in the room and said, "Man, your stock's pretty low right now." But have you seen our Monopoly game? Seen the Monopoly money? Microsoft's like right now just like the freaking banker in Monopoly. Just sitting there like, look at all this. Look at all that. Don't you wish you had this? Bobby, listen to me. Bobby. You make a little bit. That's nice. What if I gave you a $250 million parachute? Just walk away. Walk away. You don't have to deal with it anymore. You don't have to walk into the office anymore and pretend you have to work. Now you just don't have to. Isn't that nice? I don't know. I think the deal is good. I actually do think this deal is good for Blizzard, actually. I think like the big
I
winner
do
of the
too.
deal would be Blizzard and Blizzard fans. I think Blizzard really needs this.
Blizzard's
Blizzard,
need
Blizzard
Blizzard's
needs
been
this.
going down the tubes. Like, let's be honest. Like,
Blizzard's like, we need this, please. We don't want to report to them anymore. Please. Oh, somebody at Blizzard's probably like, thank God. Thank
yep.
God. Finally. We're able to report to Phil Spencer, who's gonna be like, "Oh, you're thinking of doing it on StarCraft? That sounds cool. That sounds really cool. As long as we can put it on Game Pass, I don't give." Oh, that's right. He can't assault coworkers. Dang. He can't just tell people he's got a hitman to kill them. Shucks. Shucks. I think Blizzard would be great under a Microsoft regime as opposed to
Yep.
an Activision. And we can hope the Microsoft regime gets rid of all the people that are not, instead of coding, slapping people's asses. I think that would
Yep.
really be a benefit. I think that's why all these games get delayed. You know, I think that's why StarCraft got delayed so long. They're like, we could be programming the
Too
game,
much ass slapping.
or 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 I could just,
Or I could go hit on Stacy over there.
or I could hit on Stacy again. It's like, okay,
All right, dude.
like, it's like, okay, buddy, but can we make this game now? Like, we're gonna get in trouble for this, but can we make the game? like, all right, let me hit on Stacy, Amy. Let me hit on Steve too for good for good
Yeah.
for good fun.
Just to be inclusive. Just to be inclusive.
Just to be inclusive. Oh god. I
just
still
so people just so people don't think I'm sexist, we'll hit on Steve too.
it's like, oh yeah, no, nobody thought that.
Yeah.
Nobody will think that now. I still think I don't know why, but like I know this is shitty to say, but I still think the funniest horrible like story with the company having these allegations is Riot, where people were like sack tapping each other or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you're like 26. What are you doing?
What
Like,
are you doing?
you're like 26. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're an adult. Why are you doing that? It's like, I just like,
Who knows?
what is compelling you that that's your greeting? Like, that's nobody's greeting. Nobody greets. Imagine if we were just like in a restaurant and that was our greeting. We'd be kicked out immediately.
Yep.
It's like the stupidest thing. I just please. That is my hope. Is my hope is that somebody walks into Activision the first day the acquisition's completed, goes, okay, which of you fuckers are being accused of all these things? You know, what do we know, and can we get them out as fast as possible?
Yep.
I'm just that's my hope that they just clean up because it's bad and they need to. Sure, that's going to be the first like 6 months is cleaning all that. So okay, any other I don't know any other Microsoft buying Activision with play Monopoly money?
I mean, I think we've been over pretty much every aspect I can think of on this. So
Okay, and let's go over here real quick. Now,